What if the reason you're stuck isn't because you're lazy or unmotivated, but because you're focused on the wrong things? We live in a world that constantly pulls at our attention. Endless scrolling, empty notifications, pointless comparisons. Cool. It's so easy to get caught up in things that drain us, distract us, and steal our energy. And when we're honest with ourselves, we know it. We know we're spending too much time on what doesn't matter. Chasing approval, chasing noise, chasing distractions. Yet deep down, there's a quiet voice that keeps asking, what am I really doing with my time? That question hurts a little, but it's also the beginning of something powerful. Because the moment you ask that question with honesty is the moment you start waking up. You weren't meant to live a life of mental clutter and emotional exhaustion. You weren't meant to chase every trend, please everyone, or prove yourself to people who don't even know your worth. You were made to grow, to create, to lead, to build something lasting. But to do that, you have to make one powerful decision. Focus only on what adds value to you. That means cutting the noise. That means being brave enough to walk away from anything that doesn't grow you. It means asking every day, is this making me better, stronger, wiser, healthier? Closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is no, then it's time to refocus. Because your energy is sacred. Your time is limited. Your potential is real. But you won't see any of it until you stop watering what doesn't grow you. And that's not easy. It takes courage to walk away from distractions that feel comfortable. It takes strength to say no to people who drain you. It takes vision to focus on building yourself when nobody else is watching. But that's the price of real transformation. That's how value is created. Not in chasing, but in choosing. When you start focusing on what adds value to you, everything changes. Your mind clears. Your confidence grows. Your actions start aligning with your purpose. You stop being busy and you start being effective. You stop pleasing and you start leading. You stop surviving and you start building. And here's the truth. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to start one choice, one shift in focus. One decision to reclaim your power, your time. Moment right now could be the one where it all begins. Where you finally say, I'm done wasting my energy. I'm ready to grow. So stay with this, because in the next few minutes, we're going to dig deeper. We're going to break through the noise. We're going to help you lock in, tune out the world, and tune in to your real potential. The life you want, the strength, the clarity, the freedom. It begins the moment you decide to focus only on what adds value to you. Every moment you spend on something that doesn't build you is a moment stolen from the life you could have lived. That's not just time lost. It's growth denied, strength wasted, purpose delayed. You weren't born to be busy. You were born to be intentional. And the difference between the life you have and the life you want is how you spend your focus. Think about how much of your attention goes to things that drain you, opinions you can't control, doubts that never lead to action, conversations that leave you empty, distractions that offer comfort but no progress. These are not harmless. They're anchors. Yeah. They keep you stuck in cycles that feel familiar but lead nowhere. If you want to move forward, you have to stop feeding what depletes you and start investing in what strengthens you. This is about protecting your energy like it matters, because it does. Your focus is your most powerful tool. Where it goes, your life follows. When you start choosing with intention, something shifts inside you. You begin to feel power returning. You notice yourself thinking more clearly, acting more boldly, and letting go of what never served you. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. When you focus on things that add value, you become more than productive. You become unstoppable. Because now everything you do carries purpose. Every hour spent learning, every moment spent in stillness, every decision made with care becomes a building block. You stop moving in circles. You start moving in a direction. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to know what's worth your attention. Growth is worth it. Health is worth it. Self-respect is worth it. Peace of mind is worth it. Becoming someone you're proud of is worth it. If it doesn't feed those things, let it go. You're not missing out by letting go of distractions. You're reclaiming what's yours. Your clarity, your confidence, your momentum. This is how real change begins. Not by trying to do everything, but by finally doing what matters. Not by chasing validation, but by living in alignment with your deepest values. Not by reacting to the world, but by creating the world within you. Because when your focus shifts, your reality follows. And the truth is, the world around you doesn't need to change. You do. Your mindset, your priorities, your energy. That's the only control you'll ever truly have. And that's more than enough. Because once you learn to direct your focus toward what builds you, you become powerful in a quiet, unshakable way. You no longer need to chase approval or rush the process. You trust your steps. You trust your path. And that changes everything. Stay in this mindset. Stay grounded in what grows you. Let your focus become your freedom. Every moment is a chance to choose again, to cut the noise, to rise above the clutter, to finally live the life that's waiting on the other side of your discipline. Keep going. You're getting closer. You can't build a meaningful life by accident. You build it by design, by choosing, day by day, to focus on what moves you forward, not what entertains you, not what numbs you, not what keeps you comfortably distracted, but what actually strengthens you, shapes you, and stretches you into the person you're meant to become. Full responsibility. No more waiting for motivation. No more hoping something changes. You decide what you feed your mind. You decide where your energy goes. And those choices determine your future. You already know what doesn't work. You felt the frustration of pouring your time into things that lead nowhere. You've felt the hollowness of chasing approval that never satisfies. You've lived through seasons of burnout and self-doubt, not because you're weak, but because you've been investing in what gives nothing back. But it stops here. This is where you take your focus back. This is where you shift from being pulled by everything around you to being driven by something within you. That shift is power. It's not loud. It's not flashy, but it's deep. It's disciplined. It's deliberate. You begin to measure your time differently. You stop asking, is this fun? And start asking, does this make me better? You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating one. You realize that your life doesn't change with more things. It changes with more intention. And that intention begins with clarity, knowing what adds value to you and what doesn't. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it means turning off comfort and turning on challenge. Sometimes it means walking away from what's easy and stepping into what's uncertain. Because growth doesn't come from what's convenient. It comes from what's real, from what demands more of you, and in return gives you something lasting. Strength, confidence, direction. There will be resistance. Your mind will try to pull you back into the old patterns, the familiar distractions. But now you're awake. Now you see the cost. Every minute wasted is potential lost. Every moment spent feeding fear or self-doubt is a moment stolen from your future. So you commit. Commit. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop entertaining what drains you. You replace those habits with ones that challenge, build, and elevate you. And something amazing begins to happen. You feel lighter, more focused, more capable. You no longer feel pulled in 100 directions. You feel steady, grounded, centered. You're not just getting through the day, you're building something. Every action has purpose. Every decision reflects a deeper standard. You start to trust yourself because your choices match your vision. You don't need to rush. You don't need to impress. You just need to keep choosing what adds value again and again until it becomes who you are. This is how transformation begins, not with noise, but with focus, not with pressure, but with clarity. And when you stay locked in on what builds you, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you create. When your focus becomes intentional, your life becomes aligned. Suddenly, the chaos quiets. You no longer wake up feeling scattered, pulled by everything except your own priorities. Instead, you start to feel in control, not of the world around you, but of the world within. And that is where real transformation begins. Because the strongest people aren't those with the easiest lives. They're the ones who decide what deserves their energy and what doesn't. They don't allow noise to shape their identity. They let clarity do that. And clarity is built through daily choices that honor your values, not your impulses. The difference between progress and frustration is often just a few degrees of focus. Not massive leaps, not perfect plans. Just consistent alignment with what adds value. That means choosing growth even when it's uncomfortable. Choosing structure even when it feels rigid. Choosing forward movement even when no one is clapping for you. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things repeatedly, relentlessly, quietly, until they speak for themselves. And it won't always feel good. Growth rarely does in the beginning. You'll be tempted to look back, to numb out, to settle into familiar habits that gave you comfort, even if they cost you progress. But comfort won't build your vision. Comfort won't carry you through the hard days. Only discipline will. Only focus will. Only your decision to prioritize what truly matters over what temporarily distracts you will. This is where you shift from emotional reactions to conscious decisions. You stop being ruled by mood and start being led by purpose. That shift rewires you. Slowly, the things that once distracted you lose their grip. The things that once made you doubt yourself no longer feel important. You begin to crave the work that makes you better, not just the comfort that keeps you stagnant. And that's when you know you're changing, not just your habits, but your identity. You become someone who follows through, someone who shows up, someone who honors their own time. Someone who doesn't need external permission to keep building, improving, refining. You begin to trust your direction, even on the quiet days. You stop chasing motivation and start relying on intention. You realize the real power was never outside you. It was always in your ability to choose where your focus goes and why. And when you get there, when you truly lock in on what adds value, there's a peace that rises. Not because life is easy, but because you're no longer divided. You're no longer at war with your own priorities. You feel whole, clear, aligned, and every decision, every action, every hour spent focused becomes proof. You are no longer waiting for change. You are becoming it, one focused step at a time. That's where the real strength lives, in your quiet, daily decision to give your energy only to what builds you, and nothing less. There's a force within you that's waiting to be unleashed. It's the power to create, to rot, to transform, hidden beneath layers of distraction, doubt, and hesitation. But it only awakens when you focus on what truly matters. The energy you give to your thoughts, your actions, and your habits is the energy that shapes your future. Every moment spent on things that don't add value is a moment you can never reclaim. But every moment devoted to growth, to learning, to strength, is an investment in your potential. This is not just a choice. It's a responsibility you owe to yourself. Your mind is a battlefield, and focus is your weapon. It cuts through the noise, silences the doubts, and sharpens your vision. Without it, you drift, overwhelmed by endless options and empty distractions. With it, you command your life. You set boundaries. You decide where your attention goes. This is how you protect your dreams from being diluted by the trivial. How you shield your energy from being stolen by the unnecessary. How you create space for what elevates you, physically, mentally, emotionally. It's about being clear, kind, and relentless. Clear on what serves your highest good. Kind enough to let go of what drains you. Relentless in returning your attention to what builds your future, no matter how many times it wanders. Your brain is wired to seek comfort, to avoid pain. But growth lives beyond comfort. Growth demands that you stretch, that you sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term strength, that you choose the difficult path because you believe in the reward on the other side. When you commit to focusing only on what adds value, you start living differently. You stop reacting to every impulse and start responding to your purpose. You stop feeling overwhelmed by the chaos outside and begin cultivating calm within. Your decisions become less about distraction and more about intention. Each day you become more conscious of your energy and more protective of it. You learn to say no, not from fear or limitation, but from love for your own potential. Saying no to what doesn't serve you is saying yes to yourself. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process of daily choices, small victories, and steady dedication. You may stumble. You may get pulled back by old habits or familiar comforts. But each time you redirect your focus, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. You build resilience. You grow confidence. You learn that the true power is not in controlling the world around you, but in mastering the world inside you. Imagine a life where your energy is a precious resource, guarded fiercely and used wisely. A life where distractions no longer have the power to derail you. A life where your mind is clear, your purpose sharp, and your actions aligned with your deepest values. That life is not a fantasy. It's within your reach. The key lies in your focus. What you choose to nourish today will shape the person you become tomorrow. So guard your focus fiercely. Let it guide you. Let it transform you. Your future depends on it. Every choice you make shapes the landscape of your life. When your focus is scattered, your energy is fragmented, and progress becomes a slow, painful crawl. But when your focus is intentional, your energy flows like a river, steady, powerful, unstoppable. This is the difference between drifting through life and designing your destiny. It starts with understanding that focus is not just about attention. It is about alignment. Aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with what truly adds value to you, not what temporarily distracts or entertains you. The brain craves novelty and distraction because it is wired for survival, seeking the easiest path and instant gratification. But your potential doesn't live in ease or comfort. It lives in challenge and discomfort, in the places where you stretch beyond your limits and say no to the easy distractions that pull you away from your true purpose. Every time you resist that urge to wander aimlessly, every time you redirect your focus back to what builds you, you reinforce a new way of being. You retrain your mind to value growth over comfort, progress over procrastination, meaning over noise. Focus is a muscle. Like any muscle, it grows stronger with consistent practice and deliberate effort. The moments when your mind slips into old patterns of distraction are not failures. They are opportunities to strengthen your resolve. When you catch yourself drifting and choose to return your attention to what matters, you are building resilience. You are creating a habit of excellence. This habitual focus becomes the foundation upon which you build a life of purpose, power, and peace. It's important to realize that value is personal. What adds value to your life may look different from anyone else's. That's why this journey is deeply personal and requires self-awareness. It requires that you listen to your own needs, desires, and values rather than chasing external approval or societal expectations. When you focus on what adds value to you, you tap into a wellspring of motivation that is authentic and sustainable. This intrinsic motivation fuels your commitment and helps you persevere through challenges because your actions are connected to something deeply meaningful. When you prioritize value over distraction, your productivity skyrockets, not because you work harder, but because you work smarter. Your energy is invested where it matters most. Your mind becomes clear, your vision sharp, and your actions deliberate. This clarity reduces overwhelm and anxiety, giving you a sense of control and confidence that spills over into every area of your life. You no longer feel like a victim of circumstance, but an architect of your future. Remember, focus is a daily choice. It's the small, consistent decisions that compound into extraordinary change. You will face temptations to revert to old habits, to give in to the allure of easy distractions, but every time you choose differently, you reclaim your power. You affirm your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Your focus is your greatest asset. Guard it fiercely. Direct it wisely. Because where your focus goes, your life flows, and the life you deserve is waiting on the other side of your attention. There is an invisible energy that flows through every moment of your life, and it responds to where you place your focus. When you scatter that energy across distractions, fears, and doubts, it weakens, leaving you exhausted and unfulfilled. But when you channel that energy into things that add value, it grows exponentially, fueling every step forward with strength and purpose. Your focus is the conductor of this energy. It directs the rhythm of your days, the quality of your decisions, and ultimately, the shape of your destiny. To harness this power, you must commit to directing your focus with unwavering intention. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the quiet force that keeps you anchored when distractions try to pull you away. Discipline isn't about punishment or deprivation. It's about respect for your goals and yourself. When you discipline your focus, you honor your potential. You refuse to let fleeting impulses sabotage your progress. This kind of focus requires mental toughness, the ability to say no to comfort in the moment for the promise of growth later. It demands patience, persistence, and faith in the unseen rewards of your effort. Every time your mind drifts to what doesn't serve you, you have a choice. To follow that impulse or to return to what builds you. This choice may seem small, but it's monumental. It's the difference between living by default and living by design. The more you practice this, the stronger your focus becomes. Like a muscle exercised consistently, your attention sharpens, your mental clarity deepens, and your emotional resilience grows. You start to see distractions for what they really are, thieves of your time and energy. You become more vigilant about what you allow into your mental space. Surrounding yourself with what adds value isn't just about external things. It's about cultivating an internal environment of positivity, clarity, and strength. Your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings are the foundation of your focus. When you fill your mind with doubt, fear, or negativity, your energy fragments. But when you cultivate thoughts that uplift, encourage, and inspire you, your energy aligns with your purpose. This alignment is magnetic. It draws opportunities, ideas, and people that support your growth. It creates a momentum that propels you forward, even when challenges arise. Value-driven focus means investing in your growth every day, no matter how small the action. It means waking up with a commitment to nurture your mind and body, to learn something new, to push past excuses, and to prioritize what truly matters over what is merely urgent. This consistency builds momentum, and momentum breeds confidence. You begin to trust yourself more. You believe in your capacity to overcome obstacles and to create the life you envision. This trust is a powerful motivator that sustains you through difficult times. The life you desire is not a distant dream. It is a reality waiting for your focus to catch up with your intention. Your energy is precious and finite, and where you choose to place it determines your path. When you make the conscious decision to focus only on what adds value, you unlock a wellspring of potential within you. You become unstoppable. Your dreams become inevitable. Your transformation begins now, one focused moment at a time. Your mind is the gateway to everything you become. It's the origin point of every thought, every decision, every action. When you consciously choose what to focus on, you are shaping not just your day, but your identity. Focus is the seed from which habits grow, and habits carve the path of your future. The quality of your focus determines the quality of your life. If your attention is fractured, your energy dissipates, and your progress slows. But when you concentrate on what adds value, your energy condenses into a powerful force that moves you forward with unstoppable momentum. To focus on value means to cultivate awareness about where your mind drifts. Awareness is the foundation of change. Without it, distraction becomes the default. With awareness, you become the observer of your own thoughts, the master of your attention. You start to notice when your mind wanders into negativity, procrastination, or fear, and you bring it back intentionally. This practice strengthens your mental muscles, building resilience against the endless pull of distraction. Over time, this disciplined attention rewires your brain to seek growth rather than comfort. The mind is naturally drawn to what is easy, entertaining, or comforting, but these things rarely add lasting value. Real value often requires discomfort, challenge, and effort. This is where your courage must rise. Courage to resist the instant gratification that keeps you stuck. Courage to prioritize long-term gain over short-term ease. Courage to trust in the slow, steady process of growth when the results are not immediately visible. This courage is not absence of fear, but the choice to act despite fear. It is the quiet strength that fuels every focused moment and every deliberate choice. When your focus is anchored in value, your actions become purposeful. You no longer move through your day on autopilot. Instead, every decision is infused with intention. This intentionality creates a feedback loop of progress and confidence. Your mind feels lighter, clearer, and more energized. You start to experience flow, a state where effort feels effortless because your focus and purpose are fully aligned. Understand that this journey requires resilience. You will face distractions, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But every time you return to value, you reinforce your identity as someone who prioritizes growth and purpose. This identity becomes your strongest motivator, outlasting fleeting emotions and circumstances. Your focus is not just a tool, it is the foundation of your transformation. By choosing to concentrate on what adds value, you are creating a life of impact, joy, and meaning. Your future is shaped by the focus you cultivate today. Choose it wisely, fiercely, and without hesitation. Your attention is the gateway to your reality. Every thought you nurture, every detail you zero in on shapes the world you live in. When your focus is fragmented, your reality feels chaotic and overwhelming. But when you choose to direct your attention toward what adds value, you create clarity and control. This clarity doesn't just help you survive your circumstances, it empowers you to thrive beyond them. It transforms confusion into confidence, hesitation into decisive action, and fear into unstoppable courage. Your ability to choose where your focus lands is the single most powerful tool you have for shaping your life. Focus is not a passive act. It is a deliberate commitment to your future self. It requires choosing what deserves your energy and what doesn't, day after day, moment after moment. This level of discipline is rooted in self-respect, the understanding that your time and energy are precious and deserve to be protected fiercely. When you honor this, You become less willing to waste your life on distractions that drain you and more eager to invest in actions that build your strength, skills, and vision. You begin to see focus as an act of love for yourself and your potential. The mind naturally resists this kind of focus because it prefers comfort and ease. It will tempt you to procrastinate, to seek out distraction, to prioritize short-term pleasure over long-term gain. But your true growth lies beyond this resistance. Every time you push through it, you are proving to yourself that your commitment is stronger than your excuses. This is where real transformation happens. In the moments when you choose growth over comfort, progress over distraction, and value over noise. These moments build upon each other, creating an unshakable foundation of willpower and clarity. When your focus is on value, your energy multiplies. You become more productive not by working harder, but by working smarter. You spend less time overwhelmed by options and more time aligned with purpose. This alignment ignites a deep internal motivation that no external force can shake. It fuels your passion, sharpens your creativity, and strengthens your resilience. You start to attract the right opportunities, people, and resources naturally because your energy signals readiness and intention to the universe. Focus becomes a magnet, drawing what you need to succeed. Your emotions also become steadier when you prioritize what adds value. You feel less drained by drama, less distracted by fear, and more connected to your inner strength. This emotional stability gives you clarity in decision-making and steadiness in action. Instead of reacting impulsively or out of fear, you respond thoughtfully and intentionally. You cultivate a mindset that welcomes challenges as opportunities to grow, rather than obstacles to avoid. This shift in perspective transforms your entire approach to life and work. You hold the power to transform your life in every moment you choose to focus on what truly matters. This power is not found in circumstances or luck, but in your daily choices. When you commit to this focus, you are planting seeds of transformation that will grow into a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. Your future is shaped by the attention you give today. Choose to focus fiercely. Choose to focus wisely, because your life, your dreams, and your potential depend on it. Every choice you make sends a signal to your mind about what deserves your attention and energy. This signal shapes your habits, your mindset, and ultimately, your destiny. When you deliberately choose to focus on what adds value, you are programming your brain to prioritize growth, resilience, and purpose. This programming rewires your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors towards success. It transforms you from a passive bystander in your own life into the active creator of your future. This power lies in the conscious decisions you make each day. Decisions about where to direct your focus, how to respond to challenges, and what to nurture within yourself. The act of focusing on value requires fierce intentionality. It means saying no to distractions, excuses, and anything that dilutes your energy. It means setting boundaries, not just with others, but with yourself. Boundaries protect your focus and honor your goals. They create a sacred space where growth can flourish. Without boundaries, your energy leaks away and your potential is diluted. With them, your mind becomes a fortress of clarity and strength. This mental discipline is the soil in which your dreams take root and blossom. Your emotions respond to where your focus goes. When you focus on value, you cultivate feelings of empowerment, hope, and confidence. These emotions are not fleeting. They build upon each other, creating a resilient emotional foundation. This foundation allows you to face setbacks with grace, to recover quickly from failure, and to maintain momentum even when the path is hard. Emotions fueled by value-centered focus become the fuel that drives you forward, not the chains that hold you back. It's important to understand that focusing on value is a practice, not a destination. It is a daily commitment to bring your attention back to what matters whenever it wanders. This repetition builds mental strength and rewires your brain for success. The more consistently you practice, the easier it becomes to stay centered on your goals, even amidst chaos or distraction. This practice turns intention into habit and habit into identity. You become someone who naturally chooses growth and purpose over comfort and distraction. The clarity that comes from focused attention sharpens your ability to make decisions. Instead of being overwhelmed by options or paralyzed by fear, you move forward with confidence and purpose. This decisiveness accelerates your progress, creating a positive feedback loop of success and motivation. Your mind becomes a tool for creation rather than a playground for doubt. This clarity turns obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into lessons, strengthening your resolve to keep moving forward. Your focus is the most powerful resource you possess. It determines how you invest your time, energy, and emotions. When you commit to focusing only on what adds value, you unlock your full potential. You become unstoppable in your pursuit of excellence and fulfillment. Every moment you choose to focus on value is a moment of transformation, a moment that shapes the person you are becoming. This journey is yours to own. Choose to focus with purpose. Choose to focus with courage. Your life will never be the same. True transformation demands more than wishful thinking. It requires a relentless focus on what truly adds value. This focus is not a passive state, but a powerful choice you make every moment. It calls on your courage to reject the noise and distractions that cloud your vision and drain your energy. When you prioritize value, you are choosing to invest in your growth, your future, and your deepest purpose. This investment demands patience, persistence, and an unyielding belief in the process, even when progress feels slow or invisible. But this belief is the invisible thread that weaves your dreams into reality. Every time you bring your attention back to value, you are reinforcing your identity as someone committed to excellence and meaning. This commitment becomes your compass, guiding you through uncertainty and adversity. It strengthens your resilience, making you less susceptible to the doubts and fears that try to pull you off course. Resilience is not about avoiding struggle. It's about standing firm through it, fueled by the conviction that what you are building is worth every sacrifice. Your focus on value fuels this conviction, transforming obstacles into opportunities for growth. The mind thrives on clarity. When you focus on what adds value, you cut through the clutter of indecision and overwhelm. This clarity sharpens your purpose and magnifies your motivation. It turns vague hopes into concrete goals and fleeting inspiration into sustained action. Clarity is a form of power. It simplifies your choices, reduces mental fatigue, and boosts your confidence. With clarity, you move forward decisively, knowing that every step you take is aligned with your highest potential. This alignment creates momentum that carries you through challenges and keeps your vision alive. To maintain this focus, you must become fiercely selective about where you invest your time and energy. Not everything demands your attention, and not every opportunity serves your growth. Learning to say no to distractions, toxic influences, and shallow pursuits is essential. Saying no is an act of self-respect and protection. It creates space for what truly matters and allows your energy to flow freely toward your goals. This selectiveness sharpens your focus and deepens your commitment to value-driven action. Your emotional world responds to where your focus lies. When centered on value, your emotions stabilize and your inner dialogue shifts from doubt and fear to hope and confidence. This emotional balance empowers you to navigate setbacks with grace and to sustain effort even when external rewards are not immediate. Emotions fueled by meaningful focus become your greatest allies, providing the motivation and strength to persevere. They connect you to your deeper purpose and remind you why you began this journey. Remember, focusing on value is a lifelong practice, not a one-time achievement. It requires daily attention, gentle correction, and unwavering determination. Each moment you choose to focus on what truly adds value, you build the foundation for a life of impact, fulfillment, and growth. This foundation cannot be shaken by external circumstances because it is rooted deeply within you. Your focus is your power. Guard it fiercely. Nourish it relentlessly. Let it transform every corner of your life, unlocking the greatness that already resides within you. The power of focus lies not just in what you do, but in what you refuse to let control you. Every distraction that pulls you away from value is a choice you have the strength to resist. This resistance is a form of freedom. The freedom to protect your mind, your time, and your energy from being scattered into the void of meaningless noise. When you claim this freedom, you reclaim your life. You step into the role of the conscious creator, no longer a passive participant swept along by external demands or fleeting desires.